How do you know that your sacral chakra is out of balance? So this video is going to be divided to 3 parts. Part number 1, everything you need to know about your sacral chakra. Part number 2, how does it show up in your life when a sacral chakra is out of balance? And part number 3 is how do you create sustainable balance within your sacral chakra? So let's dive into it. Hey you all, my name is Hannah. I'm an intuitive chakra healer, energy weaver, and somatic guide. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to check the links in the description below. There's a free chakra guide for you to grab. It goes into details for each and every energy center, everything that you need to know. I cramped a lot of information in there, so go grab it. It's for free and it's gonna help you a lot with your chakra journey. So first part, what do you need to know about your sacral chakra? Your sacral chakra is your second energy center. As you can see, it's orange in color and it's about 2 inches below your navel. It's your womb space area and it goes from your womb space and your lower back, right? It's like the energy center that is sitting in that area of your body. This energy center has more feminine energy to it. And like I've said before, they all have both masculine and feminine energies, but each one of them has one of them more the signature energy for each one of them. So for this one, it's feminine energy. And now that I'll share with you the aspects that are in this energy center, you'll understand why this signature is a little bit more feminine energy. So this is the energy center that is the womb of all creation. Obviously, this is the energy center that is associated when we're birthing a human into the world for us women. But it's also when we're birthing any creation into the world. If we have a project we're birthing into the world, or an idea or anything else, this is our creation center. This is the energy center that's associated with our creative energy. This is the energy center that is also associated with our sexual energy and our sensual energy, which our sexual energy is also very connected to, obviously, the creative energy. And again, they're both sitting in the same energy center. It's also related to our emotions, and it's also the energy center that is one-on-one relationships. So from the root chakra, which I made a whole YouTube video talking about the root chakra, so you can watch it up here if you want to learn more about the root chakra, because this is the foundation of your building, the root, and then sacral comes after. The root chakra is, like we talked in the other video, this is the tribal chakra, everything related to the groups we came from. And the sacral chakra, it's where we move from the group we came from to one-on-one relationships, right? This is when we start to understand that there's me, there's mom, and there's dad. So this energy center comes online between age 18 months to 4 years old, when we really start to have this initial individuation process. In this energy center, we also have our playfulness, pleasure, our connection to our physical body, movement, etc. So if you don't know, those 3 lower chakras are associated with our physical body, with this physical world, with this physical reality that we live in. It's very embodied type of energy center because it's associated with this earth world. When we're talking about root, sacral, and solar plexus, all those 3, and now specifically we're talking about sacral, it's very, 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 very related to our physical bodies and our relationships. So our physical body and how we relate to ourselves, and also how we are in the world and all the physical things that we're experiencing in the world. When I'm talking about one-on-one relationships, I'm not just talking about one-on-one relationships with, of course, with our mom and dad, but also with other people, our relationship to the earth, our relationship to God, our relationship to food, our relationship to the elements, our relationship to money, right? So this is the relational energy center. This is where we are, if we have issues in relationships and intimacy, this is the first energy center where it starts to manifest as. But as I always talk about, all of these energy centers that you're seeing here, and there's way more than 7, but the ones that I like to talk about is the 7 main ones because they're directly associated with our human experience. So if we are experiencing something in our sacral, a lot of times it's not going to be purely strictly our sacral. It's going to be interwoven with other energy center. Let me give you an example. Let's say I have an emotional eating problem, which I've actually had. And this is how I initially got into the chakras, and this is how I initially started working with clients like that. So when I had an emotional eating problem, and then I dove into the chakras and the understandings of what each chakra, what's the job of each chakra, I realized that this is the energy center that is associated with nurturing energy and also with emotions. And what I've learned about myself, and when I started develop emotional eating, binge eating, food addiction, you name it, like all of it, basically. When I started developing, I was a very young child, and the reason why I developed this negative relationship with food is because I felt like I needed to feel nurtured and loved, and because I did not receive it from my mom, I found food to give me this warmth and this sweetness feeling that I did not receive from my mom. Now, a lot of the times, if you can see with emotional eating, a lot of the times it's also related with not wanting to feel my emotion because it was not safe to feel my emotions. And this is another thing that I've experienced. So when it was not safe to feel my emotions, I turned to food as something to help me not feel my emotions, basically. And this is something that happens a lot with the concept of emotional eating. So now we're talking about root chakra safety. It's not safe to feel my emotions, right? So this is just a little example of how they can work together. Another thing I would like to share with you about the sacral chakra is that the element of this energy center is water. Now, if you think of water, I've had a whole journey around water because I used to be afraid of water. If I don't touch the ground, I go panic when I'm in water. And it's something that I've been really starting healing my relationship with water. And I realized how my relationship to water has been connected to so many areas of my life, like one-on-one relationships, especially relationships with my star family, which I actually made a whole YouTube video talking about how I even connected with my star family initially. So you can watch the video up here. And also it's been connected to my sexuality, it's been connected to my pleasure, it's been connected to my emotions and my creativity and so many things, really everything that's related to the sacral chakra. And what I've learned about the element of water is that element of water is always wants to connect. Water wants to connect, right? If you put water here and water here on a nylon tablecloth, right? And you put them close to each other, you'll see how the water, they want to come together, like they want to connect with each other. And there's something profound for me that I have learned through healing my relationship to water, because what it was pointing to me was the separateness wound, and how being so afraid of water for me really represented the initial wound of feeling separate inside my mother's womb, which then translates to the feeling separate from everything, from the oneness that we are, feeling separate from everything around me. So this is how, for me, healing my relationship with water connected all of these dots for me, which has been so profound. And this is also how it connects to the sacral chakra. Now, I shared it in the other video as well when we talked about the root chakra, but I want to share this here because it's also connected to the sacral. When we're thinking about the root and sacral, especially those two, but really those three, and really all of them have a lot in them, but mainly those two. Before we even born into this earth, we already start to encode a lot of information in those energy centers. And those two energy centers specifically, all of them really, but those two specifically, are totally being hijacked before we even came to the world. So the moment we are being created inside our mother's womb, that's when the root chakra is coming online and start to encode all the information that's in the root chakra. And when I say all the information, what I really mean by that is all the generational trauma, past lives trauma, generational programming, societal programmings, and then the childhood stuff, of course, just adding to what's already been there before from generations before, and past lives and societal stuff. And especially when we're talking about the sacral chakra, this is the energy center that is associated with our sexuality. The amount of distortion and illusion that we have around our sexuality, around our own bodies, around the sacredness of our own bodies, and what we were told, if it's like in religion, right? The groups we came from. We were told all these things about our sexuality, and now all of these energetic distortions around our sexuality and around our bodies, we're holding here in our sacral chakra. This is also when we're talking about our relationship to money. There's so much distortions and control and manipulation around our relationship to money, around money. And a lot of it, again, didn't even start with you. It's something that has been here. But if we have this experience where we can't keep money next to us, like we repel money energetically, like we really want it, but then we repel it. It doesn't come to us. Or when maybe we make money, but it doesn't stay with us. Or maybe we have a lot of money, but we still have scarcity and lack around money. So our relationship to money is sacral chakra, and the idea of financial security as a foundation, as a structure, is more root chakra. In this energy center, it's also related to our intimate relationships and platonic relationships. So how we are in relationships and how we are with our partner, or when we have issues finding a partner or keeping a partner, it's all directing you to this energy center, that it comes to show that something is out of alignment for you here. Let's dive into what are the balances or imbalances that are manifested in your sacral chakra. So we're going to start with imbalances that are manifested. So whenever you are experiencing addiction, addiction is a huge energetic misalignment in your sacral chakra. It can be addiction to work, addiction to porn, addiction to sex, addiction to food, addiction to drugs, addiction to alcohol. Any type of addiction is pointing to a sacral energy center that is out of balance. The thing about addiction that I really want to share here is a lot of the times the core wound of addiction, it's either it was not safe to feel pleasure or we were not feeling nurtured. So these core wounds are sitting in our sacral chakra because when it was not safe to feel pleasure, safety to feel pleasure is sacral chakra element. So we're seeking that pleasure, of course unconsciously, from something else to give us. And it almost feels like this external, needing this external thing to give us something, to fill up a hole that never gets filled. And same thing with the nurturing. Whenever we have been experiencing lack of nurturing, a lot of the times we can see how it manifests with addiction later in life. And a lot of the times with addiction, it's something that we can see in the family line for a lot of people. So addiction, it's a huge generational and societal wound in our collective consciousness and in our human experience, really, that is sitting deep within our sacral chakra. If you're someone who experiences issues around relationships, either platonic relationships or intimate relationships, if you're feeling like patterns such as codependency or issues in keeping relationships, attracting relationships, maintaining relationships, issues with sexuality, maybe there's misuse of sexual energy, or finding your identity in your sexuality, or feeling sexually blocked, feeling disconnected from your body and your sensuality and your creative expression. Maybe you're feeling too creative and it's really hard for you to bring it down into the earth, to really manifest and bring it to life. It could also manifest with your relationship with yourself, the way you relate to your body. And like I said, relationship to God, relationship to the earth, just relationships in general. And how you view yourself. A lot of times it can be with like negative body image, negative relationship with food, negative relationship with your body. If we're feeling emotionally blocked, like we're feeling like we can't really feel our emotions, or we are over emotional, like we feel overwhelmed or lost in our emotions. The symptoms of the imbalance of each energy center, but we're speaking about the sacral specifically right now, it also shows in reproductive system. So the reproductive organs, if there are some issues around these areas, lower back, and of course womb space area, all of the issues around that are pointing to a misaligned sacral chakra. Now, when I say misaligned, as you can tell, I'm not saying blocked or weak or too open. I'm saying misaligned because it can be blocked, it can be too open, it can be weak, and it can be balanced, and it can be all at the same time in different aspects. What do I mean by that? So for example, let's take the aspect of creativity. Let's say creatively, I feel totally blocked. Like my creative juices are not flowing, I don't feel creative, right? So in that aspect of the sacral, I feel pretty blocked. However, in the aspect of relationships, let's say intimate relationship, I have a lot of codependency issues. So the codependency aspect comes to show that this aspect of the sacral chakra is too open. Because what's happening when an aspect of an energy center is too open, it automatically damages the two ones that are closest to it. So let's say codependency, for example. When a codependency happens, a lot of the times, what is codependency? A lot of the times we're finding the safety in the other person, right? So instead of finding that safety within us, within our own root chakra, we're finding it's like the sacral in that aspect takes away from the root, and we're trying to find that safety within the other person. And then the other way, how it damages the solar plexus is a lot of the times in codependency, we also find our identity in someone else, right? So this is how it can damages those two, because our sense of self, our identity is in our solar plexus. It's all about the self. And our safety and security and stability, it's all about the root. So you can see how this aspect can create that damage when it's too open. However, creatively, I feel blocked. So this is how it can be blocked. It can be too open, it can be weak, it can be balanced, all at the same time. And it's energy, it's multidimensional, it's multi-layered. There's always infinite layers. Now I want to talk about how does it feel in your life when your sacral chakra is balanced. You're able to cultivate healthy and harmonious relationships, platonic and also intimate. You're able to create a secure attachment in relationship. You're able to embody passion and playfulness, and you really enjoy the little things in life. Like you find pleasure in everything in your life. You feel confident and comfortable in your own skin. You're feeling very connected to your sexuality, but in a healthy and responsible way, using your sexual energy mindfully. You're able to express emotions openly and vulnerably, but you're also able to maintain balance and kind of like a sense of foundation and stability as you're going into those emotions and feeling them fully. So you don't get lost in your emotions, but you're really able to give them space and honor them and allow them to fully move through your body. You have a lot of flow with creative energy and really able to bring it into the world. You feel like a sense of healthy relationship with money. Like there's this flow. There's like a lot of energy of flow, right? Water. You're connected with your sensuality and the joy and pleasure of being in your body and experience the pleasure and joy that you have access to through your body. And yeah, you really enjoy being sexual being without having fear and distortions around sexuality. By the way, I would love to know in the comments below, what do you get from this video so far, and where does it catches you with your sacral chakra? What are some downloads that you have watching this? Would love to hear you in the comments below. The last piece of this video, we're gonna dive into how to create a sustainable balance within your sacral chakra. So this is something I talk a lot about. When we are working with every single energy center, number one, the most important thing, more than 75% of the process, is to become aware of what's actually happening in this sacral chakra, right? So right now, for example, based on what you heard me saying in this video, you have a little bit of awareness of like, oh wow, I'm struggling with this. Oh, I'm struggling with this. Like, oh, I feel like I have this in addiction with my work, for example, in this area. So, okay, it points me there's something that is out of balance within my sacral chakra. So you don't really need to know the exact energetic structure that is happening in your sacral chakra. So now that you kind of watch this video and you're like, okay, I have this, I have this, I have that, you are able to become aware a little bit of what's actually happening in your sacral chakra. And that's a huge first step. The second step is to set an intention very specifically, directly with what it is that you're working on. Let's say I'm currently working on, personally, it's actually real, I'm currently working on bringing more playfulness into my life because I'm very much immersed in sacral chakra right now. So my intention would be this. My intention is to balance and heal my sacral chakra, specifically bringing in more playfulness in my life and experience pleasure from the smallest things in life. This is personally would be my intention. But what I want to invite you to do with whatever intention you're working with, right? It could be, you can create your own micro sentences, but the whole idea is that you're saying this intention every single morning and you keep it in the back of your mind as much as you can 24/7. So you know how when you're starting to date someone and you can't stop thinking about them, this is how I want you to be with this intention for it to actually work. Because what you're actually doing when you speak this intention, you speak it to your body, you speak it to your soul, you speak it to the universe. You're literally letting the universe know what you're intending to, what's important for you right now. And the universe will be like, oh, thanks for letting me know. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And then it'll bring things your way that are exactly what you need in order for you to balance that aspect in your sacral chakra or whatever chakra you're working on. It's literally can be all of a sudden you're gonna run into a book or a podcast or something that will somehow support your journey of what you're working on. And this is why intention, I could not emphasize this enough. So when I healed my relationship to water, my intention was to balance and heal my sacral chakra, specifically healing my relationship with water. And I can tell you that the amount of things that came out of that, like all of a sudden there was this woman, I'll just give you an example because I think it's really important. There was this woman at this workout I went to, and she said that they are doing a swimming lesson in this place that she goes to, and they give the first swimming lesson for free. And if anyone wants to come. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally what I'm working on currently. So me speaking that intention and put it in the universe and speaking it to my body and to my soul brought all of these amazing things my way that really helped me on this path and on this journey on healing my relationship with water. And there was a lot of more things for me around that. So yeah, so you set an intention and then you can use different tools. So as you can tell, I'm wearing orange right now, and you guessed it right. It's not random that I'm wearing orange. I wore it with a lot of intention, with my intention for my sacral chakra. So when you wear orange color or whatever color chakra you're working with, when you eat orange fruits and vegetables, or I know honey is really good for sacral chakra, as well as water, of course, the water element. So everything related to water, it's a lot of that. Also, when I have certain crystals that are for the sacral chakra, that are enhancing those energies that are in the sacral chakra. But it's not just this having the crystals. It's about, let's say I'm wearing a crystal bracelet, but I'm having the intention of that. Or it can just be orange bracelet or orange piece of jewelry or clothes and just having that intention. So it's about having the intention. Maybe you decorate the house with the color of whatever it is, whatever chakra you're working with. So there's all these external things you could use, like food, crystals, clothes, but there's also practices you can do. So for example, for the sacral chakra, a lot of flowy movements, right? So a lot of like dancing, and especially in flowy way. And again, or circles, like hip circles, it's very, very, very much sacral chakra energy. And also everything that is very physical. So whenever you do things with your physical body, maybe just like yoga, or maybe you go to a sound healing class or a breathwork class, or you're doing a medicine journey, or you go into the lake. So all of these things that could be associated with the chakra that you're working with, this is where you really bring that intention as well. So every single activity that you do around those things, you just add that intention in the back of your mind to amplify it. So you literally bombard this energy center from all directions. You can also do meditations for this energy center. You can chant the mantra for this energy center, which for this one is VAM. So you can chant VAM and do meditation around it, and this is another thing that would help. But the main thing that's really important to understand when you work with the chakras is that 75 is awareness, and then you have to be engaged in your own work and allow things to come to you. So for me, it's all of these practices are great, but it's just the seasoning for the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes is you becoming aware of and you interacting with your own work. You're transmuting those wounds and those programmings for yourself. Maybe it's shadow work. Maybe there are things you experience around your relationship to your body and sexuality. So maybe you go to some kind of program that really helps with this type of healing. Maybe you go to a womb healer if there's some things there. So this is how you're able to really become aware of what's happening and then take it and look at it as a map for your life and integrate those parts back into yourselves. If you are someone who's feeling a call to step into service, if you had a spiritual awakening, or if you have done some inner work and you're feeling that call to step into service, or maybe you feel a draw to the chakras or to energy weaving, I want to invite you to check the links in the description below. There is a link to book an interview. I'm currently in this process of birthing this technology, this like remembering technology that is a sacred modality that called Ram technology. In this process of birthing this modality, I talk to women who are feeling the call to either energy weaving or step into service, and interviewing them for this sacred project I'm currently working on. And I want to tell you that most women I've interviewed found a lot of clarity from this interview. So if that's you, I want to invite you to check the links in the description below and book the interview now. Most women who did this interview found it to be very clarifying for their path, so it's a win-win situation. Anyways, all the links below, you got all the goodies, all the free stuff, all these things in the links below. And I just want to thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for looking into your chakras, because this has been a key that totally changed my life. And I'm excited for you to be on that journey as well. Thank you for watching.